Thank you for having us on Family First Life. Sean, Mike, FFL team, all the other VPs and managers. Thanks for everything you guys do. It's been an honor working with you guys and seeing how everyone works together as one big team. Today we have some guests on. Jose, who's a brand new agent. He had his first big week. We like getting we like getting new agents on because it gives other new agents a look or a glimpse into what they're experiencing. And we also have Alondra, who's 22 years old. She's on track to be a Hall of Fame producer. So she's killing it. And Alondra, what did you issue last month?
I did 54,000, Drew.
Nice. Congratulations. So we're going to start with Jose. So Jose, what made you start to want to work with Alondra, and how did she recruit you?
Yeah, so I was actually, I come from a background of insurance. So I've been in insurance for about 5 years, kind of on and off, not really, I guess, serious about it. I got my license back in 2015, February 2015. And from then on, I've had jobs here and there. And then when I started talking to Alondra, I was I was working full time. And then, I come from a company where, and I'm not going to say any names, but I come from a company where, it's all about recruiting. It's all about the rah-rah. It's all about, who do you know? And hey, you look sharp out on the street. And, I was kind of over that. So I kept working full time, but I was already, I guess.
What'd you do full time?
I was working for Amazon at the time.
Cool.
I was a delivery driver. So,
well, I appreciate you, dude. And so does my wife.
Oh yeah. I bet.
There's like 700 Amazon boxes every day when I get home.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah. So, it's funny that you bring that up. I once had a delivery of a stroller for a dog here in Anaheim, California. And that was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, well, I love my dogs. So and my wife would probably order that.
I bet. Yeah. So, long story short, I came across an ad on Instagram for Family First Life, and I kind of responded to that. And then, like a day later, Alondra was calling me, and what I tell Alondra is that the day prior, when I submitted the ad for Family First Life, the request for information, that was the day you had uploaded the video of her and Josh Crenshaw when they had issued the 20K. And so when she was calling me the next day, I was like, holy crap, somebody, someone famous is calling me, because I had just watched that video on Family First Life on YouTube. And then so, we kind of got into a conversation, kind of asked her questions. And the biggest thing for me was that FFL is non-captive. There's no middleman.
You're the second person that said that today.
Yeah. That was the biggest thing to me, because at the company that I was with, I was getting a haircut of a haircut when it comes to, commission. And it's the same amount of work, if not harder, because you have to create your own market. You have to go out there and cold prospect and, do what's called malling. You go to the mall and hang around for like an hour or two and try to grab as many numbers as you can. And
that term is actually called malling.
Malling. Yeah, that's what I coined it. I'm not sure if anybody else uses the word malling, but that's, that was one of the things that I had to do. And I was talking to Josh like 3 days ago, and I was telling him that for the whole year of 2019, all I made with the other company was $1,300. I got
hold on.
The 1099.
Now you can buy leads here, and I'm assuming you did, right?
Yes.
And were you happy you were able to buy leads?
Oh, well, to be honest with you, at the beginning, I was a little afraid. I was scared, right? Because it was money that I had never done it. And the other office that I was at, like, hated buying leads, because I brought it up. I said, hey, you know what? I think we should buy some leads, or maybe go on Facebook and do some advertising on there and kind of get something going for us. But they despised it. They said, no, we have to stick to the system and go out and kind of cold prospect. And, you know,
Dude, so if any agent complains about buying leads, your alternative is mulling.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Would you rather buy leads and call people that want to talk to you or go mulling?
Oh, 100% buy leads, man. I'm sold 100% on leads. Like, you know, I come across Facebook questions on like forums, like insurance forums, and then they'll ask like, any new tips for new agents? And then my only response is buy leads, buy leads, buy leads. Like I'm sold 100% on buying leads. Yeah. So I bought, I bought 100 leads from the CRM when you had sent out that email for the code essential for the month of April.
Mm-hmm.
And out of the 100 leads, I bought them on Wednesday night. Thursday was a dial day. I wasn't able to schedule any appointments that day. So the very next day, what I said, well, you know what? I spent money on these leads, so I'm going to go door knock them. And so I drove about 45 minutes to an hour to a city by the name of Victorville,
That's where I
California.
grew up, bro. Victorville.
Oh, right on, right on. Yeah. So drove to Victorville and just door knocked. I door knocked about 20 to 30 doors. And out of the 20 to 30 doors, you know, I was able to get some follow-ups. And so from those follow-ups, and so I got the follow-ups, I was fired up, came back, dialed more on Saturday. I was able to set up 5 appointments on Saturday, drove out to those on Monday. So between Friday and Monday, I was able to submit about 6,000 in annual premium.
So
And
6.
that,
Did any of it get issued in the home?
yeah, yeah. I believe it was like four or five apps
Did you
got
get
approved
paid
in the
yet?
I did. I did. It
How'd
was,
that feel?
oh my gosh, dude, it was crazy. Usually, you know, I was so used to, hey, let's get this going. I got to send a blood and urine guy to come get that. I got to wait 2 weeks to see if they approve you. And then you get you get 40% up front and then 60% in the back once it's issued. And it was like crazy here with FFL. You know, I actually submitted 3 deals on Friday. So I submitted Friday. By Monday at around 7 p.m., I had a $1,400 paycheck in my bank. And I was like, dude, crazy,
So you made
crazy.
more in your first week than you did in
Then
an entire year.
that's right. That's
All right.
right.
What
Yeah.
kind of leads did you buy from the CRM? What type of leads were they?
I bought the Facebook Mail Pro Facebook final expense leads.
And how
I
much did
did
they cost per lead?
well, originally they're 250, but you guys had that 50% off. So I got them for 125 each lead. And I bought
So for
100 of them.
$125,
Yeah.
you didn't have to go mauling, and you
Nope.
wrote 6,000. You wrote 6,000 your first week in business.
6,000. Yeah. And then that Monday when I got the paycheck or when it got submitted, you know, I went out and bought new fresh leads. And so from those fresh leads, I've got you know, deals in the pipeline. I've got another about 5 or 6,000 that are like cooking right now from the leads. Yeah. So,
You're gonna get more leads, right?
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I actually bought some more leads last night. So I ordered some more leads. They should be coming in today or tomorrow. Yeah.
Now, did you get new leads this time?
Yes. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I
I
would.
did a mixture.
There you go.
I spent $900. So I did 800 on new fresh leads and then another 100 on the CRM, which is what initially got me the 5K or the 6K.
That's
So
awesome, man.
I'm just working those.
Now, you said the first day you just got up and you went and started door knocking them because no one was picking up.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had a new hire who also came with me. And, you know, I kind of shared it with him once I was kind of plugged in, and I shared it with him, kind of got him on a what is it, the business development meeting, and he kind of, you know, saw everything what FFL was about, and he ended up getting contracted with me, and he lives literally in the same complex as I do. So we said, hey, dude, you know, let's go out tomorrow. So he was with me on Friday, and we were kind of like tag teaming the door knocks. And so Yeah, I wasn't able to get any appointments. I got pushbacks probably because I was, it was my first day of calling. And one thing that I will say is get on the boot camp for all the new guys, because the boot camp will teach you, how to make those calls, how to go through objections. And I hadn't done that when I was calling. And then as soon as I came back, I got on that boot camp. And then Saturday, I was able to schedule those appointments.
Were you scared to call?
No, no, I wasn't. Probably because I used to cold call because I had to create my own market. Yeah.
Was anyone mean to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got cursed out like 6 times or so. Yeah, and then I got the door slammed in my face when we went door knocking. But it was
Someone
all worth it, man.
You got cursed out over the phone.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, "You're like the 5th guy who's effing called me. Take me off your effing list."
Now you kept calling people
I
and you
It was funny because I kept I triple dialed him back. So I didn't take that I didn't take that no for an answer. So I triple dialed him back and he didn't pick up. And then after he didn't pick up,
you
I
door knocked him.
texted him. No, I texted him. And then he said, it was funny. He responded, "If you don't stop calling me or texting me, I'm gonna sue you." So, that's really when I say, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not
good
gonna hit you
call.
up anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
cool, man. Congratulations on all your success. What are some other reasons you wanted to work with Family First Life?
yeah, so I'll list them for you. So number one was the non-captive. There's no middleman between the carrier and you. Number two is the support system. Like there's no like Tuesdays and Saturdays that you got to go to for all the rah and bring a guest and this and that, right? And so we do like what we're doing now, the Zoom conference, and it's at just as effective, if not more effective, than having to go somewhere and waste gas. And number three is compensation for sure. I was getting paid 35% of whatever AP I submitted at my last company, and it's uncomparable to the amount that I'm making now for the same amount of work. So yeah, FFL is where my flag is planted now, and I see my vision I could dream again, if you will. Yeah.
Dude, that's funny you say that you can dream again because
Yeah.
that's how I felt, man. Even when I first started here, I felt like I couldn't dream again because my past experience. And it took a few months for me to go, whoa, this is the real deal. I don't have to have my guard up anymore. Like I'm
Yeah.
not tricking people. I'm telling everyone the truth. I'm telling them how much money that they can make. I'm telling them how much money they won't make if they don't work. I'm
Right.
not saying, hey, you're really sharp. You're going to be a millionaire if you work here. I'm saying, hey, look at this comp plan. And if you work like crazy, this is what
Yeah.
you make.
Right. Right.
And it's
Yeah.
really refreshing, dude, to tell people the truth
Yeah.
and not trick them into going to a meeting and trick them into it being a regular job and trick them into this and just going, dude, we're commission only,
Hmm.
really high commission, the highest commission there is. We use
Hmm.
leads and you can make $1,000 if you help one person,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've come across other people, from the insurance industry and from people that are not in the insurance industry. And it's funny that people in the insurance industry believe less than people that are out of the insurance industry in terms of it's too good to be true. In terms of compensation and the way we're set up.
Why do you think people think FFL is too good to be true?
I don't know, man. I don't have an answer for you. I just people probably have a bad taste.
Because
Uh,
because it's weird that they pay so much. That's why.
yeah, yeah,
It is weird when no one
yeah,
else does it.
yeah. Nobody
And the
else. Yeah.
training's free and there's no, hey, let's make money by charging you for this fee. And there's no, hey,
Hmm.
let me get you to sign a contract and stay with us forever and you can never leave or we'll threaten to sue you. There's
Yeah,
none of that stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
So
yeah,
it's
man. Well, I'm excited. How big do you think Family First Life can get? I know you're new, but I just want to know from your perspective, like how big do you think this can get by doing it the way we're doing it?
oh, super big. Just on what I've been able to do on my experience, if you bring somebody on board, let's say like for example, you know, I know your story. You were bagging groceries, right? If you introduce FFL to somebody who's looking for an opportunity and you're not tricking them into something, dude, I think we can blow this out of the water. Number one, you know, obviously we the first thing is pay for licensing, which is the biggest,
Yeah,
I
Family
guess,
First Life pays for your licensing.
yeah, I guess that's the biggest turnoff when it comes to, you know, bringing somebody on board. At my previous, they would say, you know, man, I thought this was something where, you know, you guys were going to sponsor me or something like that. And so you bring somebody on board, you show them the system, you get them plugged in, they buy leads, they call the leads, they set up the appointments, they go out and help those families, man. I think we can blow this out of the water 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, well, dude, we already blew it out of the water, but it's still going and it's not stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Absolutely.
excited, man. And I love seeing people come on board and make money and put money in their bank
Yeah.
account fast. That dude, nothing makes me happier
Yeah.
than
Yeah. Absolutely.
being able to do that.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So why do you like working with Alondra so far?
So far, the support is there. You know, like for example, there's a lot of people that, you know, might say, hey, you know what, I want to learn everything before I go out there. And I was the opposite because I used to be uncoachable. So I said, hey, Alondra, you know what? You're issuing like 40, 50 a month. That's what I want to be at. Tell me what to do and I'll do it. And so, you know, she said, all right, you got to buy some leads, set up the appointments, go in the home. Don't worry about knowing everything. When you're in the home, you call me. And that's exactly what I did. I set up the appointment, got in the home, and when I call her, she's there. Any questions, you know, her and Josh are there. And, you know, I think that's the biggest thing in terms of the
So you're
support
saying she
because
picks up her phone?
she picks up her phone. She picks up her phone, but more than anything, it's the support. You know, like she backs you up.
Do you
Yeah,
think you like working with her because she writes 40 to 50,000 a month?
I think that's a big factor. I think that's a big factor. Yeah.
Would you want to
Yeah.
work with someone that only wrote like 2 or 3,000 a month?
No, no, not
Why?
at all. Because that's not where I want to be, and I'm gonna, you know, hang on somebody's coattail. Uh, I'm gonna listen to somebody that's already in the position that I want to be in.
You think if you
So
write 40 to 50,000 a month, the people you hire will be more likely to do that?
absolutely, absolutely.
That's what we're building, man. And I think that I love the message of if you don't, and Sean Mike's been saying this since we opened. If you issue under 15,000 a month and you have bills,
Hmm.
you're not making any money after you pay your bills, your lead bill, your gas bill, you have chargebacks, you have persistency, you have all these other things that come up.
Hmm.
If you write 15 grand a month, you're not having any extra money to invest into
Right.
building an agency. So you're
Hmm.
stuck there in what we call the rat race. You were
Right.
stuck in the rat race at 15,000 a month.
Hmm.
At 20,000 a month, and this is just generalized numbers, you have 5,000 extra dollars that can be put towards your business, towards another business, towards building passive income, towards
Hmm.
getting you out of the rat race.
Hmm.
So we always go do 20,000 minimum, but 30, 40. And we
Yeah.
believe that if anyone books 20 or 24 to 30 appointments a week, and it's actually becoming more of 30. So we're going to go with
Okay.
that. 30 is the new 24. So
Okay.
if you book 30 appointments a week, how can you have a bad week?
Yeah, you can.
Could you imagine sitting down with 30 people and having a bad week?
Not at all.
Not at all, right?
Not at all. Not at all. No.
So it's pretty cool to see, man. I'm excited to be working with you, to have you on our team. I'm excited to what we're going to do in the future. It's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Alondra, good job leading from the front and recruiting them. Um, Now we're going to get to you, and you've inspired a lot of people so far with your age and what you've been able to do. Can you share a little bit about your background and why you're doing what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So thanks, Andrew, for having me on. Thanks everyone, for allowing me the opportunity to share my experiences, So a little bit about me, as most of you know, I am 22 years old, so I'm very young. Before I got started in the industry, because I did not come from insurance, I didn't work, in another company like most. I was going to school to be a nurse. So I wanted to be a nurse since very young. I just had my mindset on, I knew I wanted to work with people. And, in the community, it just, everyone just wants to be a nurse, especially in my town. So I was literally just going to school, and it's super busy where I want to get, to get into a nursing program is really hard, and just because there's so many people doing it. So I got recruited into the insurance industry because it's like, hey, I was serving, I was really comfortable, I was making good money serving, and I was at BJ's. And they said, hey, are you looking for a way to make extra money? There's people that your age that are making a lot of money. I was recruited into the whole hooroo rah rah. I didn't believe them. I probably turned them down like 5 times. And I finally was just like, well, you know what? Let me just get my license and see what happens. I was there about 6 months, and I only made $4,000 because I refused to
Did
give
they
up.
tell you to go mauling?
Not mauling, but they said, give me your book of business. I was recruited on like the last day, and I guess like you have to submit so much production on the last day. So it was just a weird taste in like how everything was being done. I was not sold on it. To me, I would see the presentations, and I was like, where do I learn how to educate families? Like, how do I know which product? Like, I didn't know any of that. All I knew is bring somebody on board and just hope that they teach you how to sell. Okay. And I never really learned, because then when I found out about FFL, at that point, I wasn't really sold on in the first place. I love the insurance industry. So I knew that, okay, when I became a nurse, I wanted to have this license. So when the opportunity came, I can help people in another avenue.
So you weren't going to do FFL.
I didn't know about FFL. No, I didn't know about FFL. So then I found out about FFL, and I said, well, you know what? I stayed there at my other company because I had already worked my way up to a 50%. And to me, I didn't think there was anything better. I was like, well, do I want to go somewhere else and have to recruit my 10, 20 people to move up to a next comp? I was like, I'm already at a 50. I might as well just stay here. So when I heard about FFL, they told me, well, Alondra, you can start over here at a really high comp. They work with leads, and it's with the same companies that you're already working with. And I was like, so you're telling me if I go right with Mutual of Omaha, for example, I'm going to get paid the same products. I can just get paid more.
3 times more.
And I was like, okay, I'm in. And I did my contracting. I didn't, I sent in my letter. I just switched over everything. And when I went and I sold some policies to my family now, because I hadn't sold them before. And when I got paid, it was like real. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a real deal. So after that,
real quick. I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to hit this point.
Yeah.
Do you think it's special that you can get promoted from personal production without ever building a team and building a team, either or?
I love it, Andrew. It's not, you can come on, like, this is what I like about it. It's not like the top person is always just going to just keep reaping the benefits. Here, it's like you promote yourself by your work. Like, if you want to move up, all you have to do is go to work.
Jose, what do you think about that? Being able to get promoted by just selling or building?
That was that was a selling point as well. Over at the previous company, you have to by law or by their contract levels or whatever, you have to bring people on, get them licensed, get them to produce as well. And that was crazy. So absolutely love it here with FFL.
Yeah, I loved that because it's the best place for a producer and a builder. And if you have the best producers, you also have the best agency and you do the most volume. So they kind of go hand in hand. If you have good producers and they can make a lot of money, you can have a big agency that continues to grow. So when I came here, I was a producer and I was thinking about, okay, I'm doing all the work. I want to be able to go up the ladder and make more money. I don't want to have to hire, 45 people in a special different way in order to get promoted. So I loved that. I thought that was genius the way it was set up. and super fair. Like, it was really cool. It made it where it's not, hey, go hire everyone you know. It's, let's actually put money in our pockets. And I remember this. The company opened up, and Sean Mike goes, everyone needs to put $5,000 in their bank account every single week and not rely on anyone else by going out in the field and helping customers, which is super easy and simple, and anybody can do it. And I was like, I started building an agency while I was doing that. But you know what? I never relied on any overrides from anybody because I had that license and I could go out and I could make money. And I think people can feel that. Like, am I just hanging out telling people to go do something? And then when I can go out and make money, am I telling you to do something because I want you to make money or because I want to make money? And when I'm doing that, I'm doing it because I want you to make money. And I'll never forget that. All right, Alondra, keep going. Sorry to interrupt you, but I wanted to hit on that key point of being able to get promoted.
Okay. So, just like you, Andrew. So once I sold my, my family now, and I saw how it was, I became just like you. I was just a producer. I wanted to build a team because I knew I saw at the other company the ability that you do get by building a team. But I wanted to me, it was so important that I can show you how to do it. So I wanted to know that it was real and I can teach you to do this and you're going to get this result. So once
is that your puppies in the background?
Yeah, my sister just went and shut her up. They're mad because they're outside.
How many dogs do you have?
I have 4 little Frenchies.
Nice.
They're my world. So I'm working hard to give them their best life. That's for sure. So yeah, Andrew, like my goal, like I just became a producer. I wanted to know that this was real. So once I started, making 8 to 10 grand a month very casually, because I did the opposite. I didn't have a fast start like everybody else. I would make my money and then I'd go on vacation or I wouldn't work. I was just very casual with it. And then when I changed my mindset in the summer, like I had to apply again to the nursing program. And I was like, you know what? Like, this is either going to go one way or another. Like, I can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I'm just going to go all in.
How long were you like around, but you weren't doing anything? That's funny. Cause I always wonder how many people are here that have the same potential as you have, but they haven't gone full time yet. So I bet you there's a lot.
Oh yeah. I started in January, Andrew. I went to convention. Like, I saw it was real. I just didn't plug myself in. I didn't believe in myself. Let's just say that. I didn't believe in myself, and I didn't have someone in my corner telling me, you can do this. Like I just, so in the summer I reached out to you and I said, hey, you don't know me, but I want to really grow this thing. What do I want to do? I need to treat it like a business. And then you said, okay, come on down. So we came down, and I remember very clearly, I was like, Andrew, how are people doing 20 grand a month? And he's like, what do you mean, Alondra? Like, buy leads, book 25 to 30 appointments a week, and buy leads every week and just do the same thing. So to me, it was like, I'm already doing this. I'm just not buying leads enough.
Yeah, let's hit that. How many leads were you getting? Because I think this is a common thing that I did too.
I'd buy like leads once a month, maybe twice a month, but then me and Josh would go run the same leads. So we would both buy leads and then we'd split the leads. Like, we'd both work them together. So it was like, we made good money. Like, we got a lot out of our leads, but it wasn't enough where we could have been working harder because we didn't really work, to be honest with you.
Now, you want to know my opinion if you're running with someone else?
Yep. Don't do it.
Waste of time.
Yep. Very quickly.
The other person could be running their own appointments and making that money. It's a complete waste of time.
So when I went in August, that's when I realized, when I came back and I bought leads, me and Josh were like, what are we doing? We're shooting ourselves in the foot, because we can both be out the same amount of time, still come home, have dinner together after a full day of work. Like, you can write 10 grand and I can go write 10 grand. So very quickly we said, we're not doing this anymore. And we were buying our own leads. And Andrew, I got so used to buying leads every week that
it's easy now.
It's super easy. Like, I was one day, I remember, because I had this, again, another rookie mistake. I would only buy from one lead vendor. I would fall in love with a lead vendor and I'd buy a crap ton from them, but I wouldn't venture out. So one lead vendor was like, my area, there's a lot of agents, so I wasn't getting them fast enough. And I said, no, we cannot have this. So very quickly, I learned to call to the vendors, and I'd say, hey, my leads aren't coming in fast enough. Where can you move me so I can get them right away? Because it was dangerous.
This is big. If you're watching this,
Yeah.
she didn't just say the leads didn't come in. She said, I'll go to a different area if you can get me the leads I need to hit my numbers, right?
Yep. And they are super awesome. They said, he's like, well, how far do you want to work? And I'm like, well, you got a 2.5 2 hour, I can drive 3 hours the radius if we need to, but keep me anywhere from 2 hours everywhere around for me. And they said, oh, this area is clean. There's nobody here. Like, you'll get good traction there. All right, run my ads. They'd all start coming in, Andrew, and I book them out. I was traveling 2 to 3 hours to run business, for a very long time, because I had my number so set, like, I need to write 20 grand. So I need to write at least five a week.
Okay. Let's go. Let's talk about something that I remember talking to you about.
Mm-hmm.
You were running appointments at one point and it wasn't on a tight schedule.
No.
What was happening when that was going on?
I was just so, like, I wasn't booking enough. Like, I was still traveling. My schedule just all over the place. I didn't have, like, I had maybe like 3 appointments here, 2 like here, 5 here. Like, I'd run every single day instead of structuring it. And I was wearing myself out very quickly. So I learned how it's so important to have a dial day, a designated day. And then you just book all your appointments, on the hour. It doesn't matter if you're late, just book them. And that helped me better, because we're all fairly new in this, in the business, and not a lot of us come from having a business mindset. So we have to learn to, a schedule. You need a schedule. You can't not have a schedule. That's what I learned.
Yeah. So I started not leaving my house if I didn't have 16 appointments. There was no point, because I didn't want to. If I book 5 and 3 cancel and 2 say no because I'm desperate after the 3 canceled, then I'm screwed. So my dial day was so important to get my appointment count that I would sit there all day. The only really true days of work for me were those 2 dial days, because that's where, if you don't have those dial days, you're not going to make any money. So I would sit down from, now it's 7 a.m. Like, dials start at 7 a.m. And I would go from 7 to 9 p.m., sometimes 9:30, to make sure I got my 16 appointments. Now, the more leads I got, the faster I could get my appointments. So if I didn't get a lot of leads, I would have to spend more time on the phones. So I started going, hey, I want more leads because it's going to actually make my Mondays and Thursdays go by way quicker. I could book my entire schedule by 2:00 or 1:00. My schedule's so full, I have no more room. I have to get to everybody else on Thursday. The other thing is, do you ever do this? Because this is something that some people talk about. Paul talked about it on a TNL the other day. If you don't get your full appointment count, do you continue dialing on Tuesday in between appointments to fill in Wednesday? Have you done that?
I've done both, Andrew. I've dialed in between and I've just door knocked in between. That's because I like facial. If I'm already there, I'm getting in the door.
Okay. So we're going to hit that. We're going to hit door knocking. Okay. Yeah. But dial day, super important. How do you keep yourself not distracted when you're dialing?
I would say I respect my time, Andrew. I know that when I'm dialing, I'm making my money at that point. I know that the money isn't made at the homes. So very quickly I learned, like, in my agents, I'm same thing, unless it's urgent, like, I'm dialing, text me if it's important, but I think I'm just so focused on, I need to get my appointment goal. And like you said, I try to not get all my appointments done early in the day and all done, because I know I have agent responsibilities. I'm hiring a lot of agents and I just want to be, available to them. So to me, it's important to get it done quick.
All right. So you do that. Do you run on the weekends?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's when I make the most money. I'm out working. Everybody's home. Door knocks are great during the weekend.
Everybody's happy, huh?
Husband and wife are always home. It's not like one leg appointments. It's done deals. Yeah.
Okay. So I want to share this with everybody and take a second and talk about this. So I never wanted to work the weekends. But then I learned I actually enjoy my weekends more if I go out and run appointments because I'm productive and there's a lot of time still. So what I started doing is I would run Friday, and I always tell people like Friday night is much better if you just wrote a bunch of production. I would still run Saturday, and Saturday I could be done by 3 or 4. You could knock out 10 appointments super fast. Saturday afternoon and evening is much better if you just wrote 5,000 in production.
Mhm.
So to me, my entire week was set up from getting a head start on the weekend. And then when Monday morning came around, it was like the most motivating thing because I already wrote 7,000 and I was like, how am I going to get to, I can get to 12 or 15 and I have all week. The week just started. Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, just this week, I told you I was at 10K and it was Monday and you're like, you're already at 10K. And I said, yeah, but with everything going on, I want to make sure that the odds are in my favor. And if I'm going to get any chargebacks with everything that's going on, I want to be one step ahead. So every day, Andrew, I'm just like, I have my personal, like my weekly goal, but every day I just treat it like I'm back at zero. I forget, I forget what goes in the bank account. I don't even know what's going to pay me. Like, I'm just so on autopilot. Like, you're at zero, Landra, get to work. Like, you're at zero every day. I'm at zero. So, and Mike Killamant was the one, got on a call with me and
I
he told me,
remember that.
every day you're back
What
at
did he
zero.
say to you? You told him how big your week was, and what did he say to you?
Every day you're back at zero. And that's funny because I've already, like, I thought, that was just my mentality. And when I hear, people that have done really well, they're telling me, it's just like reconfirmation for me, like, I'm on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep
Yeah.
listening to
And then
people.
at the end of there, you go, "Whoa! I made 650,000 or 750,000," or because every day you didn't count what you already had. You just started back at zero. What I've been telling a lot of people, a lot of the people on my team, is if it's Monday and Thursday and you're full time with FFL, you claim that FFL is your full time. If you're part time, then this doesn't apply to you. But if you're full time and you're not calling leads and you didn't buy leads, then you are unemployed, willingly unemployed, not like most of the people where they got fired and they do anything to have their job back so they can take care of their family. You're willingly unemployed because if you're dialing and you're keeping your activity up super high, you're not unemployed. You have a high paying job because every person you help, it could be $1,000. You just got to go through the numbers. So if and the reason I'm telling people that it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, Jose. That's the truth. Like I don't want to see you not be able to take care of your family.
Mhm.
So I don't want to pretend like it's okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So Alondra, did you ever go through a point where you had your dial day and you acted like you were working, but you weren't?
I feel like, yeah, at the beginning, I would consider myself working and then I'd literally look at what I accomplished and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm not being productive of my time, but those were the days where I knew I still had my numbers. So I knew if I didn't get it enough, I was going to be door knocking, and I did not want to be door knocking to fill my week. I'd rather door knock to, supplement the people that no showed me.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my consequence that I very quickly learned, that I can't, lollygag around a dial day because I don't want to be lollygagging around all stressed out, in the week trying to book enough appointments by door knocking.
You know what's crazy? At one point I had to delete Facebook, the app, and Instagram. So I had no distractions. I couldn't scroll on social media, which it's weird. It would just be this habit where I would just start doing it. While I was dialing, I would have to delete it off my phone because it's like no distractions. I need to sit down. I always said it was like whatever your bunker is, you need to build a bunker that no one can get in. and you sit down and you have focused dial time. My bunker was my car. I wouldn't even go to into my office because I'd get distracted. I wouldn't stay home because I would get distracted. So I would dial from my car every day, every dial day, and hit my appointments. Um, but I love now a lot of people are using Zoom, and they're they have like accountability with their team to book appointments. Have you been doing that yet, Alondra?
Yeah, I have. I've been plugging into Zach's because I wanted to see how they were doing it, and they have a lot of guys. And I've been plugging a lot of my team into Zach, so they can see like Isaiah, Jordan book appointments. Like I want them to see, you know, how we're all handling objections, because I feel like if it comes from someone else instead of just me, it builds more. They believe it more.
Yeah.
So everybody's been loving it. You know, they're very, very helpful.
Yeah, one thing I like is the accountability part. And I've been telling a lot of people is even if you dial on Zoom with you know, the 5 new recruits you have and you sit there all day and you're all on Zoom dialing, it holds you accountable to stay focused for that.
Yeah.
So that's something that's super cool. Just a little tip there. All right, so let's get into Jose's phone script because he's brand new, and then we're gonna do Alondra's. So Jose, if you can call me and pretend like I'm a new lead.
Uh,
Oh, you're
okay.
cutting out. You're cutting out a little bit. Alondra, how about we'll start with you?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear
Ring,
you.
ring, ring, ring.
Is he cutting out for you too, Alondra?
I think my internet.
Okay, we'll go with Alondra. Alondra, call me. Yeah.
Okay. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hello, Andrew.
Yes.
Hey, Andrew. This is Morgan. I was just giving you a call back about the request that you had sent in for the mortgage protection postcard for your home on 1234 Main Street. Do you remember sending that in?
Yes.
Perfect, perfect. The reason for my call is I'm just a scheduler. With everything that's been going on, we've been super slammed, so we want to make sure we get your packet out to you. Shows we have not delivered it to you. We're going to have an underwriter in your area tomorrow and Saturday. What day would work better for you and your wife?
Tomorrow.
Perfect. Are you guys still working? Are you guys staying at home?
We still work.
Okay, perfect. What time are you usually in through the door?
About 6 p.m.
6 p.m. Okay, perfect. Let me see. My underwriter, Alondra, is going to be super busy, but we can squeeze you in right at 6:30 and 6:45. Any reason that wouldn't work for you and your wife?
No.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to put you down tomorrow at 6:30. Do you have a pen and paper handy you can pull out so I can give you the underwriter's license number and confirmation? Yeah. Okay, perfect. Underwriter coming to see you is Alondra. That's Alondra. And her license number is 0M31425. And then I got you down for 6:30 and 6:45. Just make sure you put the shotgun away. You know, she's coming around. It's just going to be her. She drives a white car. And just have a little bit of leeway for her because she does have a lot of families to see. Okay, she is coming.
Okay.
And then hang up. I say Andrew, like I know everybody has a great, you know, different ways. Mine, I have a lot of success by just saying like less is more. All my concern is just getting in the door, and that's what works for me. Whenever I say less, it's just like I don't know any information. I recently started doing the third caller party. It's so much easier. I don't know what I was doing. You know, I got that from listening to Isaiah and Jordan because you can just so many objections where people are like, well, how much is this going to cost me? I don't know. That is not, you know, that's not my job. That's an underwriter question. She has all that information for you. She can answer that for you.
Easy.
Yeah, I keep it simple.
Just to go over some phone objections, and I love your script, and I love you saying with everything going on right now, we've been super busy. It's super easy. Oh yeah, and the shotgun thing, where'd you get that from?
Zach Lawfuls. He is, oh my God, I enjoy hearing him so much. And Andrew, everybody laughs. They all laugh. And how are they not going to remember you? How are they not going to remember you? Who says that? Like, who says that these days?
Yeah, so every time you do that, they laugh.
They laugh. And then one guy I called and he's like, oh, don't worry. I only mess with grenades. I'm like, oh, well, you don't need those either. And it's funny, they remember, they wrote it down. There's no way they're going to no-show you. And funny, the next day when I did that, everybody was home. Everybody was home. Nobody canceled, nothing.
Wow.
And that's all I said. That's all I don't, I just let them know I got the card, and that's my little script.
That's a good tip. How
Mhm.
many people tell you no? And I want to talk about new lead expectations, which this can vary how good you are, how bad you are on the phone. But how many people tell you no out of 40 Facebook leads?
I'll probably get maybe like 8 or 10 that will no, like 8 or that tell me that I'm not interested, that wasn't me, or
25%.
what was that?
So that's 25%
Yeah.
probably.
Yep. Hmm.
How many people tell you, come on over? Like easy lay down appointment.
Probably like the other 75 that I can get a hold of. Yeah.
So if you get a hold of them, the rest will book them, no problem. How many do you not get a hold of?
Um, I'd say probably like 25%.
So 50%. So you'll book them if you can get a hold of them.
50.
50% you'll book.
Mhm.
So out of 40, you can get 20 appointments.
Yep.
Is it important to call them right away or wait?
100%, because they just filled it out, and people will be like, wow, you're quick. I just submitted that. And I said, yep, I'm working overtime at the office.
So you wrote 58,000 by expanding your geographic area that you're willing to run.
Andrew, I was driving. This is what, everybody sees, 54,000, but I was running 4 hours away from home, to go run business and drive the same day back, because I had appointments back in Bakersfield, and I didn't want to stay, out another night, and I didn't have leads. There was no point. So I was willing to sacrifice that. That's what it was to me.
For a lot of people, you go, okay, that sounds crazy, but so does writing 54,000 in a month.
Yep.
And it actually doesn't sound as crazy as mauling to me. It doesn't. I'd
No.
rather do that than maul any day. I'd
Yes.
rather drive 4 hours, write 5 to 10,000, and drive home any day of the week.
Absolutely.
Did it take you a while to get like your lead strategy down?
Yes, because I'm in an area that everybody loves, Bakersfield. So I had to be willing to put mail, like I have everything. I work Facebook, I work, the final expense, and I started with mailers. I have the call-ins, I have everything. I do a lot of old as well.
What's your experience with that?
With,
The cherry pick system.
are you kidding me, Andrew? I think this past week, half of my production came from old CRM leads. My appointment from today, I spent $1 on the $2 for the internet lead, and I sold 186.
That's the internet life lead. That was $2. You sold $186 a month premium. That's in the CRM. There's 76,000 of those in there.
Oh yeah, there's so many in the area
that you can get at any time.
It's just crazy because, I have leads that I'm spending $80 a lead for that work just as fun. I love them. But then I was so crazy to see like, wow, my ROI is bigger on these, CRM leads, but that's why I only use them as fillers, Andrew. There's no way I would.
You don't want to count on those as like, because with newer leads, you can calculate your expected premium every single week.
Yep.
It's a predictable formula.
Mm-hmm.
The age leads for fillers, it's not as predictable. You can have a really good week. You could have a really bad week. It's just not as predictable. And you have to spend more time on the phone. All right, Alondra, can you share with us some tips on the in-home presentation that you've learned as you've started to really ramp up your production?
Yes. So Andrew, literally my in-home and my closes got a lot better when I was more blunt with people. Like I used to, when I first started, like I would just, like when it came to objections, I would fall for their objections. Like I'd fall for them telling me that they need to think about it, that they don't know their budget. Like I would fall for that. And from just watching the trainings, I very quickly learned, like, I'm not buying it. I'm not here to get you a quote. I'm here to protect your family. And I have that very going through my mind the entire time. So like just this past week, I had a guy who was like, I have to think about it because he was in between my door knock. And before I even sat with him, he's like, he had already told me that he was thinking about it. And I'm like, well, let me just do my job and get this qualified for you. At the end, he's like, well, I got to think about it. Leave me your card and I'm going to go do my homework and I'm going to go do my research. I did not give him my card. And I told him, I'm not going to give you my card if because my job is here to find you something to qualify you. And we still don't even know if you're going to get approved. So if I leave you my card, let's just say worst case scenario, something happens to you, your family finds my card, they're going to call me and I'm going to have to break their heart that you did not do anything with me to protect your family. So I don't want your family to find my card. And when I say that to them, Andrew, it makes them like, what? And the guy was begging me for his card. Like, he's like, give me your card, give me your card. And I said, no, I'm here to protect your wife. And for that, we don't even know if you can get approved. So let's submit an application at what you know you can afford. And we can always go up or down once we have a decision from the insurance companies. So I just got better at like not buying their people's objections.
Did that person buy?
No, he didn't. No, but
sometimes they will.
For the most part, yeah. For the most part,
So you got good at calling it as it is.
Yes. Oh, very. Like I tell people, in my presentation, I'll always throw in, do you give me permission to be very honest with you and, be just very transparent? And they'll say yes, and sometimes there's no need for me to be, not in a sense of pushy, Andrew, but just like guiding them on the right direction. Like I try to, if they give me any feedback, like, no, I need to think about it. Like I try to see their point of view and firmly just direct them into the right, like, what's the purpose behind this? Like, let's break it down to what we have. What happens if, I walk away tomorrow and something happens to you? You have the current GoFundMe plan. So what are we going to do to avoid that? I kind of just put it into perspective for them.
You say that? You say you have the current GoFundMe plan?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I learned that from Josh. Josh taught me that one. And he was having so much success on it. He's like, you currently have the GoFundMe plan. So what are we going to do to avoid that? And then they'll be like, well, what's that? And then you're like, where your family's having to ask for money for everybody because you didn't want to get this affordable plan to make sure that didn't happen. And people like, honest, Andrew, I feel like a lot of these people just test us to see like, are you a salesperson or are you really here for what you're supposed to be doing?
I agree. Yep. Or that I 100% agree. They test you to see if you take the bait and leave.
Yep. And I've thrown into some families like, well, hey, at the end of the day, if I don't come home tomorrow, my family's protected. Can you say the same thing? Just little things like that, Andrew. I'm just very direct, very blunt, and people like see it through, and I tell them, I'm not the salesperson. We can send you the salesperson. My job is to find what you're looking for and let's get you qualified for what you can afford, especially with mortgage. I feel like a lot of people they get scared when they see like older clients that are in mortgage. They're like, you can't sell them term. You can't, that doesn't make sense for them. So I think if you can, guide them on, well, look, you this is your fault. You're here. You waited this long to do something. So, let's preserve the equity. Let's, get a whole life, explaining that whole situation.
Do you feel like they like how assumptive you are?
Absolutely. Because they know. And at the end of the day, like I really sell myself, Andrew, and I'm like, look, I'm fighting hard for your family at the same thing I would expect to be done for my family. So you can always count on me. I'm always going to answer.
Say that to them. I'm fighting hard for your family.
Yes. And they know that, Andrew. And that's why people don't cancel my like, I don't get a lot of chargebacks. One, because I know how to, whenever people sometimes people will select the high amounts, Andrew, and I'll guide them on like, well, let's start here. And if this makes sense, we can go up higher later, because I don't want them to just charge it back and then not have anything. And I tell them that, I want you to be covered because something is better than nothing. I know you want to leave this much to your family, but I don't want you to, cancel this in a couple months. This is supposed to be here when you're no longer here. And people love that, Andrew. Like, I'm transparent with them and they just want to give me, well, you need to call my daughter. You need to call my, all this. And, I feel like that's why I'm able to really, me just being assertive, but then I'm not like, I'm very understanding and I ask enough questions, I care and they see that. So at the end of the
That's
day,
awesome. All right. What is your goal for building an agency, your future with FFL?
well, seeing you, Andrew, do your deal just motivates and just lights a fire in
What
me.
deal?
Your integrity deal that you the opportunity that you got to build an agency and partner with integrity, that is just what drives me, because I've always just wanted to be in a position where I can take care of a lot of people. I want to be able to retire my parents. My dad did a terrible job planning for retirement. He's not there close. So I want to make sure that when that time comes, they don't have to worry about it. I know it's not my job, but I want to be able to do that for my family, and I'm, just be able to give back to my family as much. So I see the opportunity we have here at FFL that you can be a nobody, Andrew. Like, I'm not anybody special. I just work hard and I just want it bad enough. And I'm willing to sacrifice my young party years to be, in a position where later I can have kids. I can just, be on cruise control, helping everybody. And I want to help as many people on my team grow. And I think, like, I'm very happy with my entire team. Like, I don't think we've ever been connected more than ever. And, they know that I'm going to go to war for them and I'm going to help them build it, because it's not about me, Andrew. It's like, I know I'm going to get there regardless. So I'm just like, who on my team is ready to blow this thing up? And I'm just going to run with you.
Yeah.
So
I love what you said. This is the place where the average person that doesn't have a shot gets a shot.
mhm.
Like, you don't have to come from money. You don't have to have some crazy athletic ability. You don't have to be really talented. You just have to work hard and be passionate about helping people. And you have a shot to someone told me, they go, this is like NFL money. Like, when they were seeing the bonuses and stuff, I was like, no, it's better because your career is longer than like 3 years, because you don't have to worry about getting injured. It's way better. Like, you could do this for a long time. So it's super cool. And thank you guys both for sharing. Jose, I'm excited, and I'm excited you're on our team. Alondra, great job leading from the front. Family First Life, thanks for having us on. Weekends are where it's at. So it's Friday. Make sure that your schedule, if it's not packed, pack it for the weekend, because that's where that's where you get a head start. So thanks again, everybody, and have a great day.